What's good, everybody? Hellos. Hope everyone is doing fantastic. Now, I have a feeling that this video is going to have a lot of hot takes. This is a very hot button subject right now, which a lot of people on YouTube have been talking about, the fact that many content creators are quitting. And there's quite a few things that come to blame for this, some of which being YouTube Shorts, some of which being artificial intelligence. But I'm willing to argue that now is probably the better time than ever in YouTube's history to get started as a content creator. And it is much easier than any time before. So I just wanted to pull up MatPat. As you all know, the Game Theorist has recently come out and said, I am leaving YouTube. I've done this for a long time. I'm really proud of my work. But he also made a video several days prior of why everyone hates YouTube Shorts, and you should too. And he does raise quite a few interesting points that are relevant. But however, I have counterpoints that I think are relevant to point out. So let's get into it. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. I know that this is a 17-minute video that we're going to go through. But before we begin, I would like to say that YouTube Shorts have actually really helped me as a small content creator. Back a couple years back, before YouTube Shorts was even implemented, it was really hard to get views in your video or to get impressions on your video, might I add. Like, a lot of times the hardest thing on YouTube was getting started on YouTube. It's all like, it was really important for the algorithm to have a built-in audience of subscribers, so that way the YouTube algorithm would know who to recommend your content to. And hardly anyone would click on a video that had 1 or 2 views on it, because if you don't have an audience, how can you ensure that there's quality content within the video? You're a nobody, you know. And a lot of nobodies, they didn't have the technology, they didn't have the gear, they didn't have the HD cameras, they didn't have the charisma. So every time you click on a small content creator's video, it was, you know, always risk, because you didn't know what type of video you were going to get quality-wise.
Shorts are gonna kill YouTube, and your favorite creators are likely going down with it.
So there is a fact that YouTube Shorts and the change into YouTube Shorts, many large content creators are unhappy with. I'm going to acknowledge that right now, and it is a motivator for why I think large content creators are quitting. But however, I don't think it's necessarily going to kill the platform or the creativity that comes with the platform. YouTube Shorts is utilized very differently from TikTok. It is oftentimes used to clip segments of long-form videos and to kind of promote it, you know, and kind of create previews for long-form content. And it does work. It is effective. Many content creators will clip parts of their videos, or, you know, put segments into videos that they edit out, you know, like that they plan to edit out ahead of time just for shorts. And then they can also link the long-form version of whatever short they made, you know, and actually get people to click on those links. That was a very poor way of explaining it, but there you go.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, where it's the end of the year, and that means one thing and one thing only. Our annual review of the digital video landscape, a state of the union, if you will.
I love this pawn stuff.
You get what I did there? I made the U of union into the U of YouTube. No. Hey, please don't click off. I'm so sorry. I get it. The pun was really bad, but trust me, the stuff that we're going to be talking about today is too important to let a dumb joke like that just scare you off. You see, it's been a weird year on YouTube, my friends. Casual viewers, it probably seemed like business as usual, but under the hood, this year has been the single biggest year of upheaval the platform's ever seen. And it all has...
Yep. I would say this year, YouTube Shorts really started to take off. At first, YouTube Shorts was looked at as like this product that nobody wanted. Everyone hated it. They're just trying to copy TikTok. And most people didn't want to involve themselves in it. YouTube is a completely different version, like a completely different website from TikTok. So, you know, if you don't like TikTok, if you like long-form videos, you certainly weren't going to click on YouTube Shorts. And most people were here. Most of YouTube's audience is for long-form content. So why would they support short-form content? This ain't TikTok. Nor did people want it to be TikTok.
Its roots in one word: shorts. Shorts officially launched on YouTube at the end of 2020, and after a lukewarm intro on the platform, YouTube decided to just outright pay people to make them. No one really...
Yeah, no one took him seriously. He's absolutely right on
Took him
this.
seriously still, which is why this year, in 2023, YouTube started pushing them hard. Now when you open your homepage on desktop, you see shorts. When you open your phone to pick a video, oh, you've just randomly showed up in the shorts feed. Sometimes when you're watching YouTube on the TV and it's like, here, would you like to watch a short on a TV with a totally different aspect ratio? Sure, why not? To creators, this surge has had some devastating ripple effects.
On a different aspect ratio. I mean, dang, bro. Dang, bro. No one wants to watch vertical video on a 16:9 TV monitor, bro. That is the worst. Like, that is the cringiest of things, bro. The cringiest of things. I can't,
When
bro.
you go to the homepage and suddenly 50% of the screen is dominated by short-form video, it means your long-form
Right.
content gets shared less. At the top of the year, YouTube basically mandated that if you want your channel to continue to be successful, shorts have to be part of your video strategy. That's kind of an issue when it's a format that takes time and effort to make, but basically
But yeah, like I said, with small content creators, a lot of shorts will just get you 1,000 views right out of the gate. There was no easy way to just get 1,000 eyes on your content starting out, I would say 3-4 years ago. I mean, I'm going to also mention things also existed like AI tools to help you get keywords and titles to get you more views, which people were utilizing it, but it was very under the radar. Not a lot of people knew about it as much as now.
earns you $0. I cannot overstate how these changes are currently devastating the mid-sized channels of YouTube. The number of creators I personally know who've repeatedly said how scary this year's been for them because of these unexplained view drops, who've dedicated their lives to build small businesses around making long-form videos, but are now struggling to get by as their views
Totally understand, because it is true. With the algorithm and things, it is like long-form content used to be pushed pretty heavily on YouTube, but content in your like feed, even with like long-form regular videos, you know, they're getting shorter, like 3, 4, or 5 minutes. Before, that was never a thing.
disappear overnight.
Usually videos that were recommended were like 2 hours long, because that's what YouTube wanted, is people to watch really long videos and stay on the platform. It's kind of been out the way now. It's kind of been pushed aside.
have the money or resources to just work in a couple of extra spare videos so that their views return to normal. That right there, it's a big issue. But while
Correct.
mid-sized creators are feeling it now, I suspect that all creators will likely be suffering similar consequences in another year or two. And that
Well, all they need to do is just make YouTube shorts with their long-form content, and they should be fine, though.
is what I want.
Other than the mid-sized creators, which I get it, short-form content doesn't generate as much revenue. It's a whole different format that takes a lot to get used to. Views are not really guaranteed to go past, 2, 3, 4,000, unless your short does really, really well. And it's a whole different medium and a lot of people who make content don't understand how to placate to the shorts algorithm or understand really how it works. I'd be one of them, bro. My shorts could probably get 100K views if I knew how to edit them properly. But, most I've gotten is around 10,000. But
Want to talk about today. Now, normally this would be a dramatic Matt chat on the couch, but I've already got that one penciled in for January. So it's just PNG Tuber Matt Pat today talking about the bigger issue here. Because I don't think people have
Gotcha.
truly thought through the long-term effects of this change. The forceful push into short-form content affects you as an audience, it affects the platform of YouTube, and honestly, it affects how all of us are engaging with videos, whether or not we realize it. And ironically enough, despite shorts exposing you to more creators than ever before,
It's
if things
true.
continue going down this path, I suspect that they'll be the thing that kills off the entire idea of being a creator in the first place. So let's
not so sure on that. Not convinced. I think that a lot of... Well, you can look at like the 2015, 2014 era, when algorithms were being pushed. People were complaining about how like Ellen DeGeneres, the Tonight Show, all this always being on the homepage. Always being on the homepage. Like corporations, the television industry, movie trailers, those were starting to get big. And those were starting to outperform actual people who were making content for the platform as content creators exclusively for the platform. It's like YouTube was being infiltrated by ads. It was becoming mainstream, so you had the TV industry wanting to take a slice of the pie, and everyone was worried about it. And just over time, then there was the whole apocalypse. So then people had to censor their words. They couldn't curse as much because they were afraid of losing revenue. So people were thinking slowly but surely, faceless channels were going to become a thing. And they did. They did. A lot of channels are faceless. But still, I do think the people behind those content are very passionate about their work, and some of which, even without showing their face, managed to become influencers that are well known, that managed to make live streams on the side and get super chats and all that jazz. I don't think the influencer is necessarily dead. Even on TikTok, there's influencers, but he's gonna go into the fact that we'll get into it.
Let's just start by pulling off the band-aid early, friends. Shorts aren't just there to be another super fun creative outlet for channels or a fun new experience for the viewer.
It's there to make money, bro.
They're here to compete with TikTok.
Yep, they're losing to TikTok. They're salty. Corporate does not like that. They want to be the biggest video platform. Also, YouTube is American, so I'm going to support YouTube over TikTok any day of the week.
Full stop, end of sentence. Back around 2015, YouTube was measuring video success based on watch minutes, which meant the longer your video was, the more likely you were to rack up minutes on the platform and win big. People who didn't want to make long video essays counting animatronic toes or listing every editing mistake
This is true.
in Suicide Squad, they lost out in this sort of system. Sketch comedy and animation both suffered hard in this era because, well, neither of them are particularly long-form genres. They're expensive to make and they're difficult to script for 10, 20-minute periods. But you know who else was suffering during this era? The viewer. People who only had a few minutes at a time to watch videos between classes at school or during breaks at work.
I mean, oftentimes I could have like a tab open at work, run like an hour-long video and just listen to like some video essay, and then have it like secretly open in a different tab as I'm working, so I have something entertaining me as I do my job. But, that's just me.
They couldn't do that using YouTube. It's not like you're sending your bestie a 25-minute video for the lulz, which meant that there was a very clear gap in the marketplace. People wanted short videos and needed a place to watch them. Luckily, there was one platform ready to fill that need, Vine. When Vine just completely dropped the ball with a series of repeated self-imposed errors, TikTok was there to pick up that ball, run with it, and then just score all the touchdowns. TikTok landed in the US in 2016 and became a social video juggernaut by 2019. It understood that people wanted short, cheap, easy-to-produce content that was shareable. The stuff that made YouTube so popular back in the mid-2000s. Sounds like history's repeating itself. Anyway, by 2020, TikTok had all the cool songs with no copyright striking. It had all the view numbers that looked way bigger than YouTube. And most importantly of all, it had the viewers between the ages of 13 and 18. The most important demographic on the planet for any social media platform.
That's
and
true.
See, it's that last point that has YouTube so scared. If you're a viewer between the
a lot of people, I don't know, they say Gen Z was the platform was on TikTok. I'm Gen Z, but TikTok released 2016, which was the year I graduated, in December. So after I was out of high school, that's when TikTok started, and this is now the millennial and boomer platform. Much like how Facebook used to be the young and hip site, nowadays it is more so Instagram. Or, Twitter has been out. I don't know where Twitter is at. It's in this weird crossroad. But still, basically this is now the boomer platform, as they say. Doesn't mean that people in this age demographic aren't using YouTube. It's just that they're also using TikTok, or they're using TikTok more so than YouTube.
18 and 18, congratulations, you have the world's largest corporations all fighting for your attention. Why? Well, let's think back to some of the things that you were a big fan of in your life. The biggest movies, the best music artists, your favorite anime. When did you first become a fan of those? The truth is that you can become a fan of anything, anytime. I'm a huge believer in that. But statistically speaking, our most memorable fandoms emerge when we're teenagers. This isn't just because we're also young and impressionable at that age either. There's actually a lot more science to it. There's a whole field of study dedicated to adolescent identity, so I'm just going to be grazing the tip of the iceberg here. But the TLDR of all of it is that adolescent brains between 13 and 18 are working real hard at crafting a persona for themselves out of the vast universe of things that they need. It's really hard work, actually. Which is why when we're teenagers,
a lot of things that I loved around that age range, I still love to this day. I'm still a fan of Pokemon. I still love Star Wars. A lot of the musicians that I listened to when I was about 18, 17, 16, I still listen to.
our brains compel us to do really cringy things, like going...
And more than likely, 10 years from now, I'll still be listening to those bands. I was still like Pokemon. I was still like Star Wars.
...through weird style phases, deciding that...
All meanwhile, I look at the new generation stuff and then call it dog water.
We hate people overnight, filming TikTok dances in public places. These people just haven't figured themselves out yet, okay? One way for the brain to fast-track this identity building is to attach to a celebrity that you admire, or a band that you love listening to, a show you love watching, or a creator online that you like. Instead of having to build your identity all by yourself, you can start with a character who already exists, and then use them as a kind of scaffolding for yourself. Now, it is normal to have fandoms all throughout your life, but the ones we participate in as tweens and teens become wound up in our actual real-world personalities, and not just for a little while either. A healthy fandom lasts on average about 9 years. So if you become a fan of something at the age of 14, on average, you could be a fan of that thing until you're 23. This is exactly the huge and important time of your life that all social platforms and entertainment franchises want to tap into, because if they get you early, they get you for a huge bulk of your prime spending years.
So this is an explanation of why YouTube doing what they YouTube do. I don't even know.
Which brings us back
YouTube be
to over the last couple
YouTube.
years that they needed to bring the magic of TikTok to YouTube.
Yeah.
They made it very clear to audiences and creators alike that this is the thing they need to be engaging with. But is that so bad? I mean, I found a lot of shorts that I like this year. I think a lot of them are really fun. If I'm being completely honest about making them, doing something that's shorter than a theory feels like a lot less pressure. It allows me to loosen up a bit. It's given us the chance to explore lots of topics that I wouldn't get to do otherwise. So what is the big issue? Well, outside of the fact that they lose money, don't translate long-term viewers, very expensive long-form content, feel like paid when not on YouTube, is that having them on YouTube changes the platform in a way that doesn't help viewers. Making YouTube more like TikTok, it isn't just about changing the length of the videos. TikTok and YouTube function totally differently. And when you try to turn one into the other, there's gonna be a lot that happens under the surface. Let me just take you through what I mean. At its core, YouTube has always been a search engine. Historically, the second largest search engine in the world behind Google itself. Because of this, making videos on things that people search for, like movies, games, food, it's always worked fairly well. It's also worked well because you can search for specific creators that you're interested in. You go to their channel page and find a whole bunch of videos that you get from the same channel. But notice how I said that you, the viewer, have to do something to watch the videos. You have to open YouTube, obviously, but you also have to, at minimum, choose a video from the homepage. If you're not going to do that, well, now you have to search, which means that you have to know what you're searching for.
And this was a thing back then for small content creators, is people needed to be able to find your content, bro. And like I said, there was often search filters, like filter video by newest. And that was oftentimes how people found new content creators. But most people weren't filtering videos from newest. Like, they would type in whatever it is, like Minecraft Let's Play, and then you would get some of the biggest Minecraft YouTubers to pop up. But what never popped up on those search queries was new and new uploaders, people who just uploaded their first Let's Play. They weren't seen, bro. So it was very hard to get started on this platform, more so than it is now. So right now, when it comes to like getting a platform, getting views, getting likes, getting subs, when you have 0 subscribers, it has never been easier. Never been easier. Like, now is the time, bro. Now is the time to get started on YouTube before there are even more shorts. And you know, the reason why YouTube is pushing out shorts so much for small content creators and giving like small content creators 1,000 views per upload is because they want to incentivize people to upload to YouTube over TikTok. If it is much easier for new content creators to develop a following on YouTube, then they're going to use YouTube over TikTok. It's an incentive to actually use it. So if they're struggling to get their shorts to gain views on TikTok, they sure as heck want it to be easier on YouTube. Which is why a lot of people will upload a short and it will get 900 to 1,000 views to 2,000 views, and they only have like 10 subscribers.
Or you get a page of results, you scroll until you find the one that you want, you click it, and then you hope that you like it. After you watch that one video, you choose the next one from a suggested video feed. Or maybe you opt for the autoplay video, but let's be honest, are you really gonna sit through yet another Skillshare promo at the end of that video? YouTube is an active watch experience. Viewers are constantly choosing.
I don't know anybody who has the autoplay feature on, bro. I pick what I'm gonna watch.
What to watch.
But, you know, like, the difference between the beginning of this platform is there was like no, like, the homepage was the trending page, bro. There was no algorithm that basically catered content exclusively based off of what you were watching last. Like, nowadays, if you look up content around Pokemon, you're just gonna get more content recommended to you about Pokemon. Back then, if you looked up content about Pokemon, well, you would type it in the search bar, you would see what you can find, and then the homepage, which was essentially the trending page, would just have whatever was popular that day. And you could also sort it by category, so you could see what was popular by gaming, what was popular by news. But the platform has dramatically changed, and this dramatic change that we're going through is hard for creators that have already established themselves and have their shtick, you know, already with their long form content, and they just don't feel enticed to make shorts, which is understandable. I'm not a huge fan of shorts either. I don't watch shorts, but I make them, and they've been doing kind of well. So, you know.
Watch. To be honest, it's actually a lot of work on you guys. Now
But yeah, as far as my channel goes, the videos corner of it has been like, the results for it has been just kind of lame sauce. Hardly there. Live streams have been working out. I think live streams will never go away. I think, if they go away on YouTube, there will always be a Twitch platform. And, I wouldn't mind moving over to Twitch if, they just remove live streams altogether, or they just started failing because this became a short form platform. But, at the end of the day, I don't think this type of media is going to go away. New websites may appear, but, when that happens, these bigger social media networks like YouTube, Facebook, or whatever, they start changing their content to beat the competition that's rising up, that's starting to outpace them. If you can't beat them, join them. That's their mindset. That's why Facebook began to focus more on videos. And then eventually it changed from long form videos to just short form videos, similar to TikTok. And why they have a shorts feed now. It's because they're trying to bring over audiences from these other platforms. But, Facebook's still been dying. Mark Zuckerberg been having a hard time, especially after trying to launch Meta. And that was...
Compare that to TikTok. What do you do on TikTok? You open the app. That's it. For the vast majority of people, the activity...
So what he's saying is you don't have to search for anything. The content finds you. You don't find the content. He is absolutely correct. But yeah, with YouTube Shorts, they're utilizing this same thing. So essentially all it is just, it's there. You don't have to look.
He actually stops there. The most you gotta do from that point is a little thumb flick when you want to move on to the next video. A video that the TikTok algorithm has pre-selected for you.
100%.
This is a passive watch experience. TikTok isn't designed for you to choose what to watch. It's designed for you to either like...
So you're getting a ton of video just through your feed. And this is what he's getting into. And they're all like 15 to 60 seconds long. So how is each individual content creator, with that much content being placated towards the viewer, how is each individual content creator going to make their content stand out? How are they going to make their content look different from the piles of other content that's already there?
Or not.
And yeah, basically it seems like a lot of viewers who consume TikTok, if everybody is just making content and they're watching TikTok for the platform, it seems like, there's nothing new under the sun. So nobody stands out as an individual content creator. What they're there for is the content itself, not necessarily the creator.
Like what you're being served up. You can choose to search on TikTok, but it's not a super easy experience, and it just sends you to another passive scroll.
I've used TikTok. Yeah, and this search thing is just ass.
So what we're dealing with is an active platform of YouTube versus a passive platform of TikTok. What happens when YouTube now introduces Shorts, a passive watch experience, into an active watching platform? Well, a few things. First, it's hard to blend the two experiences together. As a viewer, it's great to be able to do less work and make fewer decisions when I want to be entertained, but once I'm in the Shorts feed, there's really no off-ramp to that. If I want to switch, I have to basically go back to the homepage and start back from square one, which is just a really jarring, poorly designed experience. But okay, other than being a little clunky, why is this so bad? Well, the issue is that when we're in a passive watch experience, we're still watching content, but we're missing a lot of the things around that content. And those things are the secret sauce that's made YouTube so successful for the past decade. Let me illustrate what I mean by telling you a true story from over here at Team Theorist. We recently hired a social media producer to produce social media. It's pretty self-explanatory. Shout out to our various TikToks, by the way. They totally slap, and they're only gonna get better from here. Anyway, in that process, we interviewed dozens of candidates, and everyone who made it to that round was asked to tell us a couple of accounts that they love on TikTok that we wouldn't have heard of before. The point is to gauge the awareness of the platform. It's a question that we've asked for years.
Their answer was, I don't know. That was their answer, is I don't know what creators really stood out to me. I love TikTok, I watch TikTok, but I can't give you an answer on that.
When it comes to YouTube, and everyone that we've hired on has always had great answers. That's how I first became aware of the web design commentary of Juxtapose or the mayonnaise jello of Liam Thompson. Everyone has always had an answer. But when it comes to TikTok, a lot of the best interview candidates just couldn't do it. They could tell us everything that happened in individual videos, but they often had to really think in order to come up with the name of who made it. Kind of like some sort of bizarre digital amnesia. This happened over and over again in the interviews. And you know what? They're not alone. When we like TikToks, we tell people, I have to show you this TikTok. Or, have you seen that one TikTok where the guy does the thing? We're not...
So basically what I'm hearing is it's not about you, it's about the content. If you want to survive on YouTube Shorts, make good content. What's the problem? I'm tired of these narcissistic, lame, freaking influencers poisoning the next generation, bro. We have enough Andrew Tates, we have enough Jordan Peterson. Everyone's asking and looking for online influencers because they can't find mentors in the real life, bro. Find a mentor, bro. I'm fine with this. This isn't a dig at MatPat or any content creator specifically, but I'm just saying.
Identify the people as creators. Instead, the way the platform works takes creators out of the equation. It doesn't really matter who made the TikTok. I didn't choose it. It was over pretty fast, and for better or worse, the platform pushed me on to the next video. If I truly wanted to see who made it, well, it's available. It's just teeny tiny.
In the right corner, right-hand corner, right there. You see that? So many people have clicked this button, and I appreciate all of you that did and actually subbed. So thank you.
Over here, right down in the corner. We know YouTube creators we love because we actively have to search for them. We actively choose them from the homepage or suggested feeds. Their logo.
So what I'm getting at is essentially my shorts have been kind of growing and growing and growing. You know, I don't really respect short form viewers nearly as much as I respect my live content viewers. So, you know, if passively my channel grows by people consuming shorts, that's awesome. If I stand out to them and they come over to the live content, that's awesome. But I ain't gonna cry about it. Like, I'm just gonna use this to my advantage. And I've got no problem with it, but I see the problem that's here and established for content creators that have already started, that worked hard to get their platform off the ground, only for YouTube to just suddenly start ignoring their content, to hardly get 1,000 views on their latest upload. I am sorry for anyone who's gone through that. Absolutely. 100%. But in the same light, I ain't gonna tell people to avoid YouTube because they're adding shorts in. Now is a better opportunity than ever, I think, to get started as a content creator. And I've been taking advantage of shorts and seeing the channel thrive, and actually got monetized, in part due to shorts. I also had to make use of live content to get the watch hours, of course. And the live viewers were just, if not more important than short viewers. Actually, I'd say the live viewers have been more important than short form viewers, because, you know, I wasn't going to get the 10 million short form views. What I was going to get was watch hours. But still, without them, I would have taken much longer to onboard the subscribers needed in order to get the monetization status turned on, you know.
Appears in lots of different places. We subscribe to them. We don't just follow them. Heck, they even have their own channel page. And while that might seem like a meaningless word, it really is YouTube's secret sauce. The channel pages make YouTube into a glorified web host. Each creator is their own website, their own channel that you visit to watch videos.
My whole thing is change is inevitable. So you can cry and complain about change, or you can accept it, the positives and the negatives. I think there may be positives to YouTube Shorts, potentially more negatives, because I do see that people's attention spans are dying out. A lot of the content is just drivel on TikTok. But with YouTube, what I've noticed is a lot of shorts are very educational and informative, and they're about getting you as much information and facts as quickly as possible. I'm fine with that, especially over TikTok. I mean, the content that YouTube produces as far as shorts feels significantly different than TikTok, where it's just kind of like the Wild West of the internet, where anything is basically acceptable, and accounts that should get banned don't get banned, and it's very chaotic. My experience with TikTok is like, it ranges from like things like softcorn prawn to to like just something educational to jokes. It's like the algorithm and what it recommends to you. Like when I started using it, I was like, what the hell is happening? Like it's throwing everything at me at once, because I wasn't hitting the like button on anything. I just casually would watch a ton of stuff, and just what I ended up with was like 17 billion different things, and it all didn't make sense. Like I wasn't even sure if it was able to deduct what I was interested in at all with the way I was using it. Because I wanted it to, the only reason I used TikTok is I wanted to get a feel of what the platform was like and why it was so infamous, why my generation was so active on it. So I intentionally not hit the like button, I intentionally not followed anybody, I intentionally watched through whatever it gave me. And what I got was basically the thing that interested me the most on TikTok, I think, was music. A lot of people had talent on there as far as musicians went, but other than that, to me it was just dribble. Just felt like drivel. YouTube Shorts gives me a whole different experience. Maybe it's because I've been on YouTube longer. It's got an idea of what long-form content I watch personally, and it may be feeding me stuff in the algorithm based on that. But yeah, I get why people complain about Shorts based on my experience with TikTok. It's a messy website.
Videos. The banner is theirs. The thumbnails are theirs. The titles are all chosen to fit their personal brand. But as soon as someone else or an algorithm is doing that choosing for us, we're separated from all that information. It's not important anymore. So the problem with placing everyone in a Shorts feed isn't just that now they're segregated on the platform, it's because it's removing the identity of the people who make the content.
That is true. Yeah, my solution, I guess, is, with my Shorts in particular, I don't do faceless Shorts. It's usually involving myself making a joke or something happening, so I'm present there. So that way, if they keep getting recommended my content, they'll potentially recognize this face. Like, where have I seen this face before? He's kind of funny. But a lot of successful Shorts are faceless. They're just, motion graphics with some voiceovers. It's not all, but a lot of them are. 100%.
Historically, YouTube trends can spread over a huge number of creators, but the biggest creators in a trend tend to be memorable. 100 Layers Challenge, Simply Nailogical. Fidget Spinners, Collins Key. Elephant Toothpaste, Mark Rober. Unboxing Toys, Ryan's World. Giving away lots of money, Mr. Beast. TikTok trends, though, they're not based on creators, they're based on de-identified formats. Trending audios, meme templates, personal style hacks, recipes, weird clothing. Actually remembering creator names on TikTok takes an incredible amount of thought and active watching, something that TikTok and YouTube Shorts, for that matter, are trying to discourage you from doing. And this actually makes a significant difference. In 2022, TikTok sponsored VidCon, one of the largest digital...
I honestly think that YouTube would feel that a lot of problems would evaporate if just these toxic influencers just disappeared. So I think the idea of having faceless content without a creator behind it sounds fantastic to them. Just corporate drivel that is inoffensive, that can reach a large demographic of people. Nothing would sound better to me if I was an executive at YouTube. I gotta be honest. And I love YouTube. I love following influencers. I love following content creators. But I can tell you, a lot of them being gone would just make the world a better place. 100%. 100%. All right, Ryan's got a point here. There are times where opposition to changes made backlash bring about backtrack from those that made the change. Not always, but it does happen. But you're right. If you fight over every big change and never position yourself to adapt to the light of change, then you're just going to have a bad time. And that's what we have, is a lot of people complaining about the change and not really adapting to it. And I get it, because it is hurting their business. But a lot of it could just be, I don't want to make Shorts. I don't want to adapt to these change. I don't think it's the type of content that I want to do. Which is fine that people are quitting, because if it's no longer fun for them, if they don't feel like they have much of a future here, if they feel like that Shorts is going to kill their brand or, the platform in some way, then get another job, bro. That's what it sounds like they're doing. They're either getting another job or just retiring. Good for them. 100%. Good for them.
Events of the year where fans can have meet and greets with all their favorite creators. In years past, when the appearances were coming from YouTubers, the lines were packed. But in this particular year, many of the lines were empty, despite the creators having hundreds of thousands to millions of followers on TikTok. As Simply Nessa15 put it,
did anybody else notice that so many influencers with over 500,000, over 1 million followers had empty lines at VidCon? TikTok completely killed the concept of influencers. I feel like it's so easy to gain a following on here, but that doesn't actually mean that it's going to translate in.
Yeah. I don't know where we're going. It seems like YouTubers have always been celebrities to an extent, but the mainstream media never wanted to acknowledge them as such. But for the new generation, the influencer is the new Kim Kardashian. So they are essentially the new Kanye West and Jay-Z's, or, the new Nicolas Cage, the new whoever, bro. That's where we're at. but it's never acknowledged. But it seems like this trend is slowly starting to go away as the platforms get more mainstream and mainstream. But what I would argue is going to happen is eventually, if TikTok is just kind of like corporatized and just dry and becomes lame sauce, becomes just a safe platform for families or whatever, a lot of the young generation is probably going to gravitate towards, you know, the next TikTok, the next Vine, the next YouTube, like they always do. Facebook used to be the poppin' place that everyone went to. YouTube used to be the poppin' place that everyone went to, but now it's TikTok. It's just gonna happen. It's inevitable. Change is inevitable. So, you know, the people that grew up with YouTube, that grew up with Facebook, tend to not leave it, which is why you have much more millennials on these platforms than Gen Zs.
Into like fandom, I guess.
And that right there is the big point in all of this. While YouTube is busy winning back the 13 to 18 demographic from TikTok right now, the trade-off of those views could be steeper than anyone thinks. Remember what we talked about at the beginning of the episode about how those teen fandoms end up sticking with you for a long time? What happens when your platform doesn't foster those fandoms anymore? When you don't know who any of the creators are because you've never picked any.
And for a lot of people, this is scary. A lot of famous YouTubers, this is scary. You know, this channel was birthed in the process of YouTube Shorts coming into existence, so I'm less bothered and offended by it. But I definitely get it, 100%. 100%, but like I said, now is the better time than freaking ever, to start a YouTube channel. Shorts is just way easier to onboard subscribers with. You know, if you aren't here to make money, you're just here to make videos, now is the time, bro. Now is the time. You can get responses off of videos. You can get views easily. It's really not a sweaty process that it used to be.
Any of the videos that you're watching. When there's no channels with no communities around them, there's no people associated with the trends. It just becomes the scroll, the feed. Without fandoms and channel communities, YouTube can pull in all the viewers it wants, but it won't be making any new fans. In our social producer interviews, almost all the candidates said at one point or another, I'm a fan of TikTok, which sounds like a pretty normal thing to say, but think about that. Like, isn't it kind of weird? They're fans of the platform, not of any specific creator. When you talk about YouTube, it's relatively rare to hear someone say, I'm a fan of YouTube. You know, the website. That's probably how it should be. I love this.
I'm not really a fan of TikTok. I never liked it. Thought it was mostly drivel. But there's a reason why I don't consume short form content and I consume long form. That's a personal choice. But I'm not mad at necessarily. Well, I am kind of mad at people for consuming shorts, but I get it. It's like, that's what you want to do if that's the content you like. I ain't gonna stop you. But I think you're into brain dead drivel more often than not.
Platform. I've dedicated over a decade of my life to it, but I'm more a fan of the people who are on it. Right now, I'm a big fan of Max Fosh and Moist Critical. Steph is a fan of Caroline Winkler and the Dumb Dads. Real people doing real content that they deserve credit for. Being a fan of a platform, on the other hand, it's being a fan of a corporate entity, maybe at best a fan of an algorithm. Going back,
China must love it.
To our job candidates again, who have apparently now just become a bunch of unwitting test subjects, a huge proportion of them said unprompted, I'm a fan of TikTok, and it is super unhealthy. Or, I'm totally addicted to TikTok. It's definitely bad how much
Isn't it weird how people who love TikTok seem to hate it?
time I spend on there. Over here at Team Theorist, people who use TikTok are pretty...
Brit, odd time to get an ad. Alrighty. But I'm just saying, bro.
They like the platform, but
TikTok
it's also
users must have like some form of self-hatred or something.
Fandom and more of an addiction. Except again, notice the words that are being used. Being a fan of something and being addicted to something, they're not the same. The fact that we as people don't always seem to be able to tell the difference there, it's pretty unsettling, but that's neither here nor there. What this all shows is that in absence of having the ability to get you emotionally invested, platforms are having to use psychological hacks to make you dependent on them.
Welcome to the modern age, ladies and gents. If you aren't prepared, get prepared. This is your future.
Spent a whole video talking about addiction pathways and TikTok content a couple months ago. If you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out after this, where I basically talk about the way that your brain feels addicted to scrolling content and receives little boosts of dopamine every time you see a new TikTok. The problem...
Now, the thing about the internet age I have to point out is it's a bit different than the television age, because people used to consume way more television back then, the thing about television is a lot of corporate entities could, influence narratives, so to speak. Nowadays, algorithms influence narratives, so algorithms have potential to more radicalize people and make them believe in conspiracy theories and things, because as people look for content that fulfills what they want or what they're looking for, as far as like they're getting their fill of confirmation bias, they're just going to keep getting fed things that validate their worldview until they're radicalized further and further whatever direction they're going. Now that's a problem, but however, the corporate influence isn't as strong with when it comes to news, maybe politics and things. These are actual people that are trying to make a living, and some of which are grifters, as they are called, trying to deceive an audience in order to get money, in order to get views, in order to feed people's confirmation bias, regardless of whether or not they believe in what they're saying. But overall, while that YouTube platforms and TikTok or whatever benefit off of algorithms, at least it's not like some billionaire behind it, or billions of dollar corporation behind what we're being fed all the time. But yeah, I'm not sure which is better and which one's worse, but it seems like media as a whole, it's not really beneficial. A lot of days I wrestle with this, because with search engines, information is more accessible than ever, but so is misinformation. So while you can find out facts about past presidents like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln at like the tip of your fingers, bro, whenever you want, it's always there. You're also being potentially radicalized or giving misleading information so someone can make money off of you. So while there's more information than ever, there's also a ton of misleading information or a ton of just lies everywhere in the same light. And it's hard to find the truth if everything is presented as truth, regardless of if it's truthful or not. It's just humans and how we operate.
Comes though when we mistake being a fan of something for just being hooked on it. That's a lot to lay at the feet of YouTube when it comes to shorts, so it's only fair to acknowledge the boat that they're in. In order to stay relevant and continue growing the viewership of YouTube over the years, there have to be more new people watching the platform. For its long-term survival, YouTube needs to win this battle against TikTok and earn back some of that 13 to 18 demographic.
So his argument is that they're losing their identity in the process of what made YouTube great and alienating the people and the fans of the platform that are already here. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. But I think that this video basically summarizes and explains why so many people have been quitting YouTube. And I think to a degree.
It's not clickbait. On March 9th, I will be hosting my last Theory episode.
And there you have it, guys. Just a couple weeks after that video was uploaded, this one was uploaded. Ain't saying it's coincidence, but it might be. I don't know. It might not be, bro.
At which point, I'll be handing off the channels to someone else.
And I think he's going to pick the right people to do this. Now, a lot of people have said, man, he looks really emotional. Just it's a bummer video of dude just crying on the internet. Bro, this has been his job for like years and years and years. This is how he makes money. Anybody that has left a job that they love knows this feeling, bro. Anyone that's, invested years and years in a job and it's no longer productive for them to be there, despite the fact that they love the people, they loved working there, but they no longer seem to be able to operate in that space. Maybe they're behind in some way. It's like they weren't able to keep up with the technological advancement. They feel like a bit of a liability. They weren't as productive as before. Whatever reason it may be, if you're in this situation, it freaking sucks. So yeah, 100%.
That's it. Send tweet. We're all done here. That's all you need to know, right? Oh, wow. Forgive me, by the way, if
But yes, it can feel a little fake and stupid, especially when you're a content creator in front of a camera. Tears rolling down your
I'm
face.
a little bit more disorganized than usual. Normally, I would want to script out something like this pretty precisely.
With being a content creator, I find you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, people will find problems in whatever you say. They'll overanalyze. They'll look at things. They'll think that they actually know you as a person better than you know yourself at times. It's crazy.
But with an announcement like this, I wanted to bring it back to just us. There's no one else in the room. There's no teleprompters. There's no nothing.
But, you know, he's also reaping what he sows, I guess, because he's all like, I don't know you, buddy. I don't know you, but you're acting like I am very, very important. It's just us. Well, you know, this is how content creators make money, though. It's the parasocial aspects between you and the viewer.
It's just the way that this whole thing started. It's a conversation between us. And, sorry.
Now, he definitely cares about his viewers just as much as I do. I'm just putting that out there. But I can acknowledge that they aren't really necessarily your friend.
That I keep getting emotional about this. I'll try not to, but it's
You know, John Lennon was killed by a fan, so just
a
saying.
deal. You know, like, if you think about it, this channel is Steph and my first child, really. Before we had Ollie, before we had Skip, Catbat, like, it was this. This was our baby. This channel
I believe
has been
him.
going for
1000%.
13 years. I think in
Dude
total
worked
it's
his
somewhere around like
butt off.
1,200
You watch any
views.
game theory video, it is well edited. The motion graphics are on point. Like, the amount of effort that his team goes into the research, his voiceovers. Actually, it takes a lot of takes to get the voiceovers just right and have everything looking polished and good.
And only half of those are FNAF. Shocking. I know, we actually did stuff that wasn't FNAF related. But this has been a literal third of my life.
Yeah, that's a
I'm gonna
huge
miss
bummer.
it.
Of course he is going to miss it.
I'm gonna miss this.
100%.
I value what we have here. I value this conversation, this openness, this relationship that we share. And I'm sad that I won't be able to see you every week.
Yeah, it sucks.
Which then I guess prompts the question of like, why? Why am I doing this now? Why am I making this announcement today? Why am I walking away from the channels? Well, to be honest, it was Tom Scott. You can blame Tom Scott. Tom just did his farewell video, and I'm like, well, he was able to do it. I want to be able to fly away in a helicopter. Obviously, that's not it. But really, my reasons for making this announcement today is probably largely the same as Tom's reasons, or Seth Everman's, or Captain Sparkles, or Papa Meats, or Stampy Longheads. Like, there's a lot of these videos that are coming out these days.
Correct.
And there's gonna be a lot more happening throughout this year. Steph and I have known this video would be coming for the last 3 years. We weren't sure it was necessarily gonna be today. We didn't know exactly when it would fall, but we knew it was gonna happen eventually. That's why over the last couple years, we've been staffing up so much. That's why we partnered with a larger company to help run the channels. That's why.
And I think that the talent that's going to help with these channels are going to be great. The Game Theorist is still going to have good content. 100%.
We've been spent.
Like, to me, I like MatPat. He's a really nice person. But as like an influencer, I never really connected with him that much. Especially when I deal with influencers that I actually talk to. Like, people actually know. I even work for an influencer, bro. Influencers I've had conversations with. So someone talking to me on camera isn't someone that I've actually held a conversation with on camera. It's two different things. So I really can't connect like this with MatPat, I don't think. But I understand his grief. I totally get that. I mean, I don't want to say that I completely relate, but I get in my head why you would be in this headspace and why it's just brutal to say, I'm going to walk away from this and walk away from the fandom that has really, really made my life better. You know, that has helped put clothes on my back, that has helped me eat my food, you know, because they've supported my content. They bought my clothing.
Spending so much time outside of this
They
bots
bought my merch.
training up the team
All
to
of it.
make the best videos that they can, because we knew that we couldn't do this forever. We knew that, honestly, we didn't want to do this forever. For as much as I love you, and I love overthinking things, and I love theorizing, I don't love late nights.
You know, if I made a video like this, I'd probably be pretty emotional.
I don't love the fact that Steph and I have been work first for over a decade, where I'm sitting down at dinner with my best friend, and we're talking about business logistics, or we're talking about animatronic toes. I miss the days where I could just sit down on the couch with her and play video games, and it's not for content. Or I'm playing a game and I'm not thinking about what theories are gonna come out of that.
So yeah, there you go. I mean, with content creation, it is 24/7. You know, you're thinking about it every day. You have to upload consistently, especially if you want to keep your following coming back, especially if you want to generate revenue, if you want to grow your subscriber base. YouTube, basically the first, like 4, 5, 6 days is when it's going to push your content the most. And, that's when you're going to get your most of your views. And each video you upload, you're making a certain amount of money through advertisements. And if you own a house, if you have children, you need to consistently upload on the regular. Otherwise, you aren't going to be able to pay those bills. So that's where we're at, is essentially with YouTube Shorts, and less people seeking out long-form content. Is a lot of content creators have been struggling to pay for food for their families. So the distaste, the anger, and the frustrations with YouTube as a platform that change, and why a lot of these major content creators have been so negative about it, I understand. But in the same way, I'm all like, you can adapt to that change and be less cynical about it potentially. Also, this is a prime opportunity for many content creators who haven't made content before to get started on a platform like YouTube. And to actually kind of learn the algorithm, to kind of learn what videos actually, generate likes, shares. Now is a better time than ever. I mean, if you want to get started as a content creator, I would recommend you look into TubeBuddy and vidIQ. They both have YouTube channels. vidIQ especially has a lot of helpful resources and YouTube videos that can teach you essentially how the algorithm works and how you can become successful on the platform. But yeah, watching a video like that is hard. And it's a change that a lot of people are going to have a hard time with. MatPat is very, very famous. His videos are very well known. They're very high quality. They have a lot of really useful and interesting information. And, on top of that, he's an educational platform. So, I would say everything he does is, pretty much a net positive for, culture and society as a whole. You got kids getting interested in science by using, like FNAF characters at times, bro. But yeah, it's crazy. He uses Pokemon, he uses all types of just fandoms to give people educational content, which is unique. That's only a positive. But yeah, I think we've been I think we've been a bit negative. Dragoon says it's like this: who owns TikTok? China. What political party is China part of? Well, it would be the Chinese Communist Party. Plus, I'm no politician, but my father is. China already wants to rule the world. Absolutely. So, if we're going to fight fire with fire and have like a trash algorithm system that is just ruining people's brains and making us brain dead, it might as well be American. It might as well be American without, potential Chinese spyware that people speculate exists, but we can never prove. I don't know. Did they prove that China was spying on us through TikTok? All I know is essentially there was this whole thing where certain government employees weren't allowed to use TikToks in certain buildings or whatever. They had it banned in certain areas. That's about all I know. But yeah, TikTok is a big boogeyman that everyone's talking about. I'm definitely fine with having our own TikTok that takes Americans off that platform. But, you know, in the same way, it's all like, they don't need TikTok to get data. The Chinese Communist Party can basically find that by other means, I think. Most of our data is just given out freely and collected via social media like Facebook, Twitter, etc. You know, just by data collection agencies that they've been sold to. China, regardless of having TikTok or not, I think it's inevitable that they're going to find people's personal information. It just is the way it is. Now, I think people want me to watch this video the whole way through. I don't really care to, though. I think that where I really wanted to go over was that short form video in the start of this one. There's a large trend that we are going to lose a lot of YouTubers, but I think in the same light we're going to gain a lot more. One of which is me. I'm working hard to gain at least, 10K subscribers. I think would be cool. I don't expect myself to be as famous as MatPat or Video Game Donkey. I don't really care about that. What I want is just enough money to consider this a part-time job and to be able to eat what I want and live the way I want without having to deal with the burdens of financial stress. That's where I'm at. I want to be a successful person doing what I love. It would be nice to have a job that I was passionate about, and I'm passionate about YouTube. So that's where I'm at, essentially, with that. But, yeah. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, taking the time out of their day to hear my takes. If you guys have varying opinions from my own, please let me know in the comments. You're more than welcome to rip me apart, even though I might call you more an asshole or something. But everybody take care, stay safe. See you guys later. Bye. See ya.